It's crunch time on the hotelplanner.com PGA EuroPro Tour when 213 become 60. Who will make the 2015 Tour Championship? Hello and welcome to Prince's for the penultimate event of the EuroPro Tour. It's our players' final chance to qualify for the Tour Championships at Desert Springs, and the likes of Murray, McCullen, Cornford and Moseley are all on the cut mark. This week could define several players' seasons. Tense? You bet. Here's what's coming up over the next couple of hours. We have all the final round action from the hotelplanner.com Championship. Johnny Morgan gives us an insight into what the course has in store for the players on this crucial week.
Up and down like you wouldn't believe, mountainous, and the boys got to deal with it.
We take a look behind the scenes on the EuroPro Tour. And have you heard the story about the Walker Cup captain, a Spitfire and a golf course?
I'm a member at Prince's. I like the 13th, I might land it here.
All that's still to come, but first it's time to take a look at that all-important 60th spot. It's been a very tense few days for all the players pushing for contention at the Tour Championship at Desert Springs. It's a tense week for Liam Murray and Matthew Moseley, who are just inside the mark for the Tour Championships. But the likes of Hayden McCullen and Luke Cornford could force their way into the top 60 with a good finish. A good performance from Moseley and Haynes will be needed if they are to remain in the top 60. OK, let's hear from some of the players that are right on the mark.
I think if I just play my normal game, I'll be fine. Making the cut was a big step for me, so I think after today, if I just shoot a nice number, I should be fine.
I was 64th going into last week, so I needed to make the cut last week, which I did. And then coming into this week again, the goal was to make the cut, and which I've done that again. And yeah, just try and shoot as low a number as possible today and climb up the leaderboard and secure that top 60 spot.
I thought after last week I might have just got into the top 60, and I had a look and it was 61st, so I was like, oh bloody hell, means I've got to do the same again next week. But yeah, I mean, just don't really think about it and just play your own game, and hopefully it'll happen, get in there to this week.
My form's been okay the last few weeks. I kind of wish I'd joined it a little bit earlier in the year, to be honest, because I was hoping to play more Challenge Tour events and unfortunately haven't got into the tournaments that I expected to get into. And you know, I played at Burr Hill and hadn't joined the tour, so my money didn't count towards the Order of Merit. So I think I'm going to need about a 66 today to jump into the top 60.
Players looking relaxed there ahead of their final round today. But now it's time to hear from our resident pro, Johnny Morgan, who's got a lot to say about this stunning links venue.
Well, thanks, Laura. We're at Prince's, and what a place it is. I mean, the course is in magnificent conditions. We're blessed that the shore and the Himalayas is on the cards for the players this week. And at just over 7,000 yards on a par 71, this has got to be one of the best courses we play all year here on the EuroPro Tour. And I'm lucky Mr. Rob McGurk, the main man, director of golf, is here with me. How you doing, bud?
Good, thanks, John. Yeah, you?
Mate, we go back a long way.
We do, yeah. Quite a long time, amateur days, I believe.
I know, man. We used to play this golf course with Persimmon Woods.
That is a long time ago, yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, what's it like having the EuroPro Tour on your doorstep?
We like having the guys here. It's good for the greenies to have them prepare the course for professional golfers, to challenge them. And I'm pleased this year we switched the course combination around a bit and getting to see the Himalayas course for a change.
And why was that? Why did you decide to give it a little change, a little tweak?
Well, our members' course really is the Himalayas. They prefer it to the other two nines. They always want to go and play around it, and we just felt that it offers something different. Only one par 5, 2 par 3s. Okay, it's slightly shorter, but a little bit tighter, so maybe a bit more strategic play for the guys.
I mean, normally the wind's going havoc round this joint. I mean, at the moment, it's not nothing like it normally is. The past couple of years, we've had that wind up, and like you say, I think the score's going to go through the roof because that wind is.
Yeah, it's very calm. Also, we've had quite a wet August, so the ball's not really running. Therefore, it's not going into the thicker grasses. And the rough's not as penal this year, it has been in past years, so the guys have had it easy, really.
Yeah, they have, and I mean, you've got your #1 mascot here.
That's
I mean,
right.
he must love life around here, does he?
He's got a very difficult life.
Does he jump in the sea and have a little swim as well?
Yeah, he goes in occasionally, yeah. But he normally stalks the spike bar for sausage rolls.
What's his name?
Dexter.
Oh, good old Dexter. You're doing all right, mate? You enjoying the golf? Yeah, I bet he is as well. Well, all the best, Rob.
Thank you very much.
I hope we come back again and again and again. I love it.
We will. Thank you.
Top man,
Thanks,
Rob.
John. Cheers.
Thank you, buddy.
It's been a tough event for several players so far, but let's take a look at the sharp end to see who's mastered Princes this week. The man that will be the happiest so far this week will be Hayden McCullen. He was in 61st place at the start of the week and surely will move into the top 60 if he keeps his nerve over the final 18 holes. Leading the way though at 10 under par is Darren Wright, thanks to a blistering 64. Chris Nicol was 139th on the order of merit at the start of the week. What a story that would be if he could pull off a victory. He is joined at 9 under by Doncaster's Graham Clark, with Halley and McCullen a shot further back at 8 under. With a cut of 3 under, the lowest in the season so far, there are 26 players all within 5 shots of the lead, making for an interesting final round. Time now to catch up with some of those leading the way.
I've only missed 3 greens the last 2 days, which is good it's the best I've done all year, so that's what I'm just going to try and hit fairways greens and then just keep holding a few putts.
I've really drove the ball pretty well. I would say that, my putting's been pretty good. I've held a lot of good putts, especially to keep the momentum going, which throughout the year it's been pretty tough because if I've missed a green, then I won't be getting up and down, and then the momentum's totally lost. So then if you're holding putts, it kind of puts a little bit of a smile on your face as well, so it makes the job a little bit easier.
I think if I can just have a steady sort of 4 under par, I think that might be good enough. That with a 1-shot lead, that forces my nearest competitor to shoot 5, and to shoot 5 under on the last day is a really good round. But you never know. If I birdie the first 4, then obviously your target's changed. So we'll see. We'll get out there and keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully the putts will drop.
So we're all set for a fascinating final round, and with the wind picking up, who will be making the top 60 and will we have another first-time winner on tour? All will be revealed in the next couple of hours, but first taking you through Alice and Simon Golding. Boys, what do you think?
Thanks, Laura. Well, what we think is it's that time of year again. And once more, the boys are scrambling to try and get a top 60 place and a trip out to Desert Springs to the Tour Championships, where they will be playing for big money and the opportunity to really jump up the leaderboard once again. So that's what it's about in this final event of the regular season. And Colgate, with that wonderful heat haze in the background just behind him. Second shot into this par 5 second. 4 shots off the lead. But on a day like today, Gary Ellis, that is eminently makeable.
It certainly is, Simon. No, I'm excited about today, not only because of the who may win, but this race to Desert Springs and seeing where the top 60 is. And you see there, Colgate played a good shot using the contours of the ground, just letting the ball feed onto the green. We'll see a bit of that.
Now then, this man, what a fabulous few days he's had, and this could be a fairy tale finish to his season. It's certainly a fairy tale finish to that putt. And Hayden McCullen, the youngster, has got things rolling early doors. Gary Ellis, my co-commentator, after many years at Trevose, certainly well placed to talk about links and various weather conditions.
Yeah, I must admit, I've certainly seen pretty much everything from benign conditions, rather like we've got here, to Hurricane Force 11. And, you know, after that good approach there, Jack Colgate misread that completely.
Yes, this man capable of blowing a little bit hot and cold, but when he's hot, he's very hot. That fabulous 63 course record that he shot on the Priestman at Slaley Hall last year. A reminder of how good he can be. Now then, Halley trails by 2. His second shot into this par 4 first.
And a fine shot there. Stopped a bit quicker than I thought, coming down the little bit of breeze, but good shot.
Yeah, Greg Payne talking before this round about the fact that making the cut was big for him, and now he just has to play his game. And a lot of players will be trying to think in that way, but you can't get away from the pressure. Top 60 not just giving you a place at the Tour Champs, but also guaranteeing your card for next season on the EuroPro, and that's all worth a lot of sleepless nights potentially.
It is, you know, not to have to worry about going to Q school and everything makes a big difference. As we watch Halley's putt rolling down. Oh yes, and just enough there. Little bit of wiggling of the knees just made it fall over. Did that shake the ground? Well done.
Yeah, it doesn't usually work, does it? But it certainly worked on that occasion. Well done. So Chris goes to 9 under. And Payne, long way ahead of the field, finishing his round up at 18, but unfortunately for him, not going the way that he wanted it to go. And I'm afraid he's going to finish on +2, and he's going to have to wait and see, Greg Payne. I don't know if that's going to be enough, and you can see the resigned look on his face. That suggests he doesn't think so either. Now, the young Scotsman, Nicol, at the first. Wow, no holding back there.
He certainly didn't hold back on that one. Big whip through, quick hip clearance, and he's really whisked it away. Hang on, hang on. Lie looks all right, so shouldn't be too much trouble. You see there's, like all these guys, good setup, but a little bit stronger grip, both hands turned a touch more to the right, and you could see there in the slow motion a really quick flip of the wrists as he squared the club up. You know, that very fast release is not always easy to time.
Now, right, this man has timed his season beautifully. He's been there or thereabouts just about every week. And Darren Wright, the Englishman, unfortunately not the best start for him, but overall he's had a wonderful season so far, and I'm sure he's going to feature come the final reckoning. Now let's take a look at this swing.
Again, he's very full swing from Wright, which we've seen. Interesting, comes a little bit up on his toes as he hits through the ball. One of those that's more of a linear right to left type of swing rather than a left to right shape on the ball with a swing like that.
Now, as Graham Clark said before the start of this round, he's been hitting greens in regulation for fun. And with the way that this man putts, he is a very aggressive putter. Any day could be his day, and that'll do.
Yeah, counted as a missed green, but he's very close to the hole there.
Yes, he'll take that one. Now then, a little bit of work to do here from the nasty stuff. Wright does a tremendous amount of work on that core stability in that core area. That's his focus in the gym. And it's served him pretty well so far, last couple of seasons, and he's done well from that position.
It was good. Ball was below his feet and lying in the grass. Difficult. Halley, second shot. And you can certainly see the rain that there's been through this last month or so. For a seaside course, this is soft, which again makes the conditions very easy. No wind and soft conditions. It really takes the teeth away from seaside golf.
Yes, that's the protection for a links, to be played within sight and sound of the sea. Now, Cornford, our first look at this young man. One of the players we spoke about at the start of the day with a real chance of qualifying in the top 60, and it looks like he's going to get the job done here. But unfortunately, one man that doesn't look like he's done enough today is Greg Payne. He's with Kit Alexander.
Greg, a 76 in the closing round here at Prince's. How did it play out there today?
It probably played pretty easy. I didn't have my best game today. The wind did pick up on the back nine, which made things a little tricky, but I definitely didn't bring the A game this afternoon.
Well, there's pressures at all levels of the game, but such is the quality of this tour that it really is tough out there, and Greg Payne, I think, feeling it. And that's the problem, isn't it, in professional sport? Once you've got to swing a golf club to put food on the table, Gary, it changes everything.
Yeah, it does. You know, you have a different mindset. You have to manage your game, and even if you've not got the A game, not to drop a shot, because several pounds will be going, and the pressure's there, whether you're trying to retain your card, move up to the Challenge Tour. These guys are under pressure, and the strength in depth now on the EuroPro Tour is fantastic. This last couple of seasons, the improvement in the strength in depth, as I say, of the players is wonderful.
Well, a few missed opportunities there, but plenty of time for Wright and Hulley to make amends. And Clark, I said he was an aggressive putter. You'll rarely see Graham Clark leave one short. Gave himself a chance there, and he'll fancy that one on the way back.
And Luke Cornford now. Ball stopped fairly quickly, so longish putt from the front. Good pace, just a fraction under pace, so it took a bit more break, but you know, after a decent round, 2 putts there, move out of it, and his playing rights for next year and a trip to Desert Springs are on the cards.
Yes, that all sounds pretty good to me, and I think Luke Cornford will be happy. Now let's take a look at the third.
Yes, here we are, this first par 3, 184 yards. It's a very inviting par 3, got to play over these winds, and then bunker on the left, deep bunker on the left. The bunker that's short right shouldn't really affect these players. A green that tips back facing you, feeds in with banks from right and left. Get one down there on the green, it should feed into the hole. Chance of a birdie if you can hit a good straight one.
But as always with a par 3, depending on the direction of the wind, you can go through a whole range of clubs.
Oh yeah, I mean a hole of 184 can be almost a 3-wood down to a wedge. I mean, it's extraordinary if you're into or downwind.
Oh, beautifully judged. So great selection from Harmston there, and he will certainly take that big birdie opportunity. Now Halley missed his eagle chance, but still an opportunity here to score, and does it very nicely to tie for the lead. So Halley looking solid, looking confident at the start of his day.
So where Harmston hit this glorious tee shot too, this 4-footer for his birdie, nonchalantly done. Very good effort.
Well, as we expected with today's conditions, we're seeing a lot of putts for birdies and eagles. Here's another one. Oh, yes, indeed, and they're starting to drop now as well.
Yeah, and the green's rolling beautifully. I mean, this is wonderful. Nice pace, lovely links grass, that tight grass that you get across the whole fairways. And with this year, the weather conditions have been great for golf courses. They're in good shape.
Yes, the colours out there just beautiful. And as we know, Johnny Morgan, our pro out on the course, loves this venue, and very excited to see both Shore and Himalayas in action this week. Himalayas, how do you pronounce it, Gary?
Himalayas, I think. Well, you never know. We could be a Himalaya.
Now then, Clark also looking to get in on the action, and he does. This is good stuff. We're starting to see some movement, and from a lot of really good players. It does whet the appetite for this final round.
Wrigley's birdie opportunity after a decent tee shot. And another one. Rats and drain pipes whistled in there, didn't it, Simon? That was very
They're doing
good.
it for fun. They're holding them for fun. So he moves to 8 under. This is great stuff now. Double figures under the card. Right, looking to hang on to that with everybody moving forward. He stays where he is.
Lovely roll. So many of the players now, they put the line on the ball, and when they strike the putt as purely as that, and you see the line rolling end over, and it's wonderful. It's a great thing for amateurs to practice their putting. Just put a line on the ball, get it rolling, get that strike. Something to practice in the winter.
Now Mosley, 60th in the race to Desert Springs at the start of the week, so right on the bubble. But a good effort so far in this final round. Birdied 4 out of the first 5 holes, but he's not secure just yet, is Mosley. But one man that thinks he might be, Luke Cornford, is with Kit Alexander.
Had 67 in mind, but to shoot bogey free 68, yeah, probably the most solid round of golf I've played all year, and really pleased with how I execute my game plan out there today.
It looks like that is going to book your place at the Tour Championship at Desert Springs. How much are you looking forward to that now?
Yeah, definitely. It's really sort of a weight off the mind sort of thing. Really wanted to get to Desert Springs, get in that top 60, secure playing rights for next season without having to do Q School, and who knows, go to the Tour Champs now and see if we can pull off a victory and get into that top 5 of the Order of Merit.
Now, one man that's already there is Darren Wright. We talked about that extraordinary statistic of his last week on par 4s and 5s this year. He's a ridiculous number under the card, and it's only a matter of time, surely, Gary, for this man.
Yeah, I think so. He's played very, very well this season. I think early on in the season, his putting perhaps wasn't quite as good, but he's been very solid. Good player.
Now, Matt Mosley, 8 under, ticking along nicely. But very important that he doesn't start making mistakes right now, and that could be a problem for Mosley at 7.
He won't be best pleased with that. It was only a little pitch. I know it was downwind, but you know, you'd expect it closer than that. As we go back to Wright after that very good second shot on the par 5. Bit disappointed he's left it in the jaws, but comfortable birdie, moves another one under the card.
So 11 under, Wright moves out into the lead. Mosley looking to recover the situation here at the par 5 7th. Oh dear.
Yes, it's difficult coming up a little rise off 2 different lengths of grass, but it is lovely on a seaside course. You can take the putter from around the green and roll the ball on much easier than chipping. As we see Nicol launching his tee shot away. And again, lovely shot, heart of the green. And as his playing partner said, a very good shot. Nice swing, good base. Look at the width of his stance there. Solid, hip clearing out of the way. And lovely extension. That's one of the things that professional golfers get, is the extension they get through the ball, Simon. It's great. Amateurs should, if physically it's hard for them to do, but if they can copy that, it's great.
Yes, never a problem to copy, although you won't want to copy the way that Mosley has played the 7th. So a bogey for Mosley, and that means some of the good work that he's done early doors has been undone. But a chance for Nicol here to keep pace with Wright at the top of the table.
15 feet, not too much break in this one.
Oh, yes, beautifully done. Very good reward for that fabulous tee shot. And Chris Nicol, the Scotsman, saying to Darren Wright, anything you can do, I'm happy to match. And that's why the pair are tied in top spot at 11 under the card. But just look how close things are on that leaderboard here in the hotelplan.com championship at Prince's. Lots of great golf then still to come. And I'm sure we're going to see that score improving hole on hole. Stay with us then for more from this championship. Welcome back to Prince's, Sandwich in Kent, a fabulous coastline here and a part of the British Isles that can conceivably be called the Gulf Coast once again. I know there are a few areas like that, but this has a wonderful collection of golf courses, and this, Prince's, a fabulous links just down the road from Royal St George's. And out on the course, a man from Doncaster and a man that we've seen win on the EuroPro Tour in the past, Graham Clark. Still playing some very good golf, and that is a fabulous shot.
Well, here at the 5th, 420 yards the boys got to deal with, and it is a tough hole. Dead straight as you like. Wind can come off sideways, left, right, into downwind. And the big thing is, I mean, have a good gander at this. Great description of the hole. These bunkers, 299 and 309. Now, if it was downwind, driver, definitely no-no. Probably run into it. Little swell in the middle of the fairway as well, which you got to try and dodge if you can. The hardest part about this hole is the green, so let's go and take a look at it. Well, after dodging a bullet with your drive, you got left with a second shot into this 5th green, and what a 5th green it is. A typical link style, you don't know what the wind's going to do. You really don't. So coming into it, even this massive area to land it in, it feels like you're going to land it on a postage stamp. Now, if we come over to the right-hand side of this green, and you're going to see, for instance, look at this. I mean, you ain't got to be much off. I mean, I'm only getting that roll in, and it's going to catch a swell, and off it goes down again. Now, you make par on this baby. you're going to be one on the field. That's a fact, a matter of fact.
Yes, we like a fact, John. Well done. And here's another fact for you. The Open Championship was staged here back in 1932, and my co-commentator Gary Ellis has an ancestral link to that particular fact.
Yes, my granddad Percy played in that Open and finished fourth as we watched McCullum then almost hole out in 2. But yeah, my granddad taught me to play when I was a young boy. I was 21 when he passed away, but he gave me great grounding for golf. And things he told me, even yesterday I was just almost recounting something to one of my pupils, and I'm thinking, my granddad told me this 50 years ago.
Now then, after that very, very close approach, a very nice putt back. He was clearly watching it as it went past the hole, so well done, young Hayden McCullum, and things just continue to go along very nicely for him. Now, don't count this man out, Chris Halley. And that's why. Brilliant stuff. Very good 3 from Halley, so moves himself to 11 under to join in on the lead. And let's take a look at Chris Halley's profile. 30 years of age now, the man from Malton and Norton Golf Club. The Yorkshire Amateur Champion back in 2013, so has turned pro fairly late in life, but making a very, very good go of it.
Holed some good putts today, hasn't he, Halley? As we watch Clark holing a very nice putt as well for his birdie.
Another man that moves to 11 under, and we get him very congested on this leaderboard. Dare I mention playoff? Well, if we do go to a playoff.
Yeah, well, this is the hole that they'll play. 455 yards, straight back down, very ridge fairway. Difficult hole, this one. This bunker in the fairway to be avoided, but you can get some really nasty kicks off these humps. And for them to show, because it's always difficult to see humps on the TV, but you can actually see how ridges. If you drop just short, the ball will kick across into the bunker on the right or straight across the green into that long rough down there. And quite a sloping green as well at the end of it. Challenge.
Yes, that's what the players will be facing if we do have a tie at the end of today. And with so many bodies around on the leaderboard at the moment on similar scores, it's not beyond the realms. Now, Colgate having a bit of a lash at that one. But it's a lash that's worked out very well indeed, and you can see the contours again on the fairway. You really do feel like you're in a little bit of an amphitheatre as you walk down.
You do. In fact, they're so big that when you get down in the bottom, you really can't see over the top of the ridge, and it's only 10 yards away from you on the fairway.
Now from Colgate to this man, Nicol. I like the way that Nicol has played his golf so far today. He's actually been quite aggressive. We saw that from the first tee shot that he played. And Wright has kind of followed him.
Yeah, they've kept very much step by step.
So, decent shot from Wright. As we've already said, he's had a fabulous season so far as Darren Wright. And a player that, well, despite that tee shot, just keeps on improving. And let's hear from the man himself.
My goal was to give myself the best opportunity to win the Order of Merit. I knew I was playing well enough. I knew I'd performed well enough in practice to be able to win this year, and lucky enough I'd done that early on. So as soon as I'd done that in the 3rd event in, my target was just solely trying to win the Order of Merit.
You've already secured a win this year at Burr Hill. You've also had a couple of events where you've been in and around the lead going into the final round and haven't quite finished it off. What have you learned from those differing experiences?
I've just learned that I know I'm doing the right things because I'm getting myself in those situations. So if I keep putting myself up there and keep doing what I'm doing, sooner or later it's going to pay off. So not necessarily do anything different. Maybe in certain situations not play so aggressive, like I learned at Hawkstone this year. But if you're confident and you're hitting it well, then you've got to play to your strengths. So just yeah, see what happens today.
Well, as the great Henry Cooper once said in a famous commentary, the boy knew what he had to do, and Wright done it. Very good stuff from Darren Wright this year. Now then, Colgate has had a bit of a topsy-turvy season so far. But as I said at the start of the round, he's a talented player.
Yeah, very talented, but you're right, Simon. He has been topsy-turvy. Almost every tournament he's had a very good round and then, you know, thrown in a round of many shots more than the first one. And it's difficult to understand why that would be, really.
I think there's a maturity process involved in any professional sport. and some mature quicker than others, and I'm sure we'll see Colgate at the top of the leaderboard on many occasions. Now, Nicol, well, he's definitely not turning off anything here on this round. He's being aggressive all the way.
Hallie? Ooh, just sneaks by. I think he already thought he'd got that. Thought it would come in a little bit from there when you look at the slope on the green, but held its line.
Yes, finally, I'm afraid the touch with the wand deserts Hallie. So he bogeys, goes back to 10 under. Right, though, in one of these bunkers.
Typical links bunker. Face 6 feet high. I think he was actually unlucky. I think the ball landed and it got a real shoot forward and got on the slopes, but that's links golf and something that you can't legislate for, and all he's had to do is just pitch one out.
Hayden McCullum just one back from the lead. And the teenager playing some wonderful golf during the course of this week. I think you're always going to get inconsistency with young players, but it's what they do when they're good that you really have to pay attention to, and he's been very good this week. Now, this is an important shot for Wright.
Nice rhythm on that swing. And good shot, well controlled the spin, giving himself a chance of salvaging a par.
Yeah, he's going to have to work for his up and down, though. Chance for McCullum to get up there with the leaders. Not quite. I think he was a little concerned about that putt. And in the end, nice and sensible. And McCullum marches on.
So, Darren Wright. This putt to save his par. Just a whisker of movement from the left, but he hasn't hit it.
It's funny, isn't it, how the way some tournaments go, everybody's taken a big step forward, and now everyone's taken a step back again.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit like the tide, ebbing and flowing. In it comes, out it goes.
Now, Chris Gain, fabulous stuff from him. 66 to go with his 68 and 70 makes him clubhouse leader at 9 under, and another of the guys that needed to perform this week to guarantee a top 60 place in the race to Desert Springs, and it looks like Gain has got 1 foot on the plane. Nicol then for the lead. Oh, and he's got it. That's fabulous stuff. And the young Scotsman, Chris Nicol, moves to 12 under the card, and he's playing beautifully. Let's hear from him.
You're 139th in the race to Desert Springs, the top 60 advanced to the Tour Championship in Spain. How aware are you of what you need to do in the final round today?
Honestly, I took a little look this morning, and I know I need to kind of, I need to have a good finish. I need to probably finish first or second, I think, to probably make the top 60. So, I mean, we'll just have to take it as it comes. If I keep doing what I've been doing the last couple of days, we'll see what happens.
Third place would probably also get you in. So with that in mind, if you're coming down the stretch and you're kind of chasing first, but also there's a few guys behind you, what kind of mindset do you take? Do you hang on to third or second place, or do you go for the win?
I mean, I think I'm just going to try and play the shots that I see. I think until I get into that position, I've never really been in that position, so it'll be interesting to see kind of how I handle it. But I'm looking forward to it.
And up there in contention, you're going to feel a lot of pressure. You've got the cameras on you as well. Is that something you're looking forward to?
I am, actually. I really am. I mean, I'm probably more nervous doing this interview than I might be out in the course, but no, it should be good. It should be good fun. I know Darren quite well as well through amateur stuff, so we should have a good day.
Yes, Kit Alexander piling the pressure on there, but Nicol coping very well with the questions. And this man, James Fraser, the Welshman, coping very well with the course at the moment. We knew it was possible, but at the moment, 6 under for the day takes him to 11 under the card and a tie for second place with Graham Clark. But it's Chris Nicol, as I said, coping with the pressure and going along very nicely there at 12 under and leading this tournament. So back out to the course. Colgate giving himself a chance today. 3 shots behind the leader at the moment, but with these sort of conditions, you'd back a few of the players to find those shots. Oh, well done.
That's a marvellous shot, that one. Flighted it in beautifully. That's the key on seaside golf. Very good. Yeah, I thought Chris Nicol was very calm there. You know, he said, I've never been in this situation, but he kind of worked out what he was going to try and do, and time will tell whether he manages to do it.
Yeah, it's got the feeling of one of those days for Chris Nicol. Maybe 30 years' time, he looks back on it and says, yes, I remember. It was one afternoon in Prince's down in Kent, and that's when it all changed. He's still got a chance to dramatically revamp his season.
So Colgate's not much more than a tap in, which he deals with very well.
Now, here's John with a bit of history for us.
We're on the 13th hole, and it's a shortish par 4. You know, a few little difficult bunkers here or there. Lovely hole. But for many other reasons, this is a legendary hole. You got Mr. Laddie Lucas, a fighter pilot, Walker Cup captain to boot, and the son of a prince. And I tell you what, in 1943, him and his Spitfire would chip the wing from France, coming over the water there, couldn't quite make it into his runway, decided, well, I'm a member at Prince's, I like the 13th, I might land it here. So he pitches it in the middle of the fairway and kind of scuttles it all down round and lands on the tee, and then just goes through out of bounds, he said. He said, oh, what a shame, put me playing out of bounds, 3 off the tee. But I tell you what, better off, he lived and he conquered.
Yes, Gary, Laddie Lucas, a man who was tremendously influential on golf in this country.
He was, yes, as John said. He played in the Walker Cup, captained the Walker Cup, and was influential with John Jacobs in the formation of the European Tour. Fantastic gentleman.
Now back out to the modern day golfers. Fraser going along quite beautifully on this final day. He was one of the players that we tipped for a win this season. That hasn't quite happened for him, but maybe he saved his best till last. Now Nicol for par to stay in the lead.
That's the first putt really that hasn't accelerated through. It was all a bit tentative there, a bit of a flick, and it not struck and tweaked left. But this is going to happen. He's holed some great putts. And can this man hole a great putt from the fringe of the green? Certainly running nicely, running very nicely.
What a belter. Oh, and that is a fearsome look on the face of James Fraser, and he is flying. Look at this. So 12 under, Fraser 7 under the card for today, moves into the lead, and that little trip from Chris Nicol puts him back into second place for the moment. But look how many players we've got on 10 under. This is still a very, very congested leaderboard. Well, it was a Welshman that was pulling the strings last week at Morallerton, and here at Prince's, it's another Welshman that shot into the lead. James Fraser, at the moment, ruling the roost. More to come after the break.
Welcome back to the EuroPro Tour, and with the season drawing to a close, we thought we'd take you behind the scenes to show you exactly what goes into making the tour. Well, it almost looks like fun, doesn't it? Let's hand you back over to our commentary team, Gary, Alice, but first, Simon Golding.
Thanks, Laura. Well, we're certainly having fun, and how couldn't you have fun? Look at that shot. Beautiful conditions here at Prince's. Time to get back into our final round action, and Fraser is absolutely tearing it up at the moment. The Welshman playing some beautiful golf to lead this tournament, and just behind him a Scotsman. Little blip for Nicol, but that's the only blemish on a very aggressive front nine. But he's got to try and keep this together, Gary.
Yeah, he has. He's very important that he holds himself together over these holes, and that's going to leave an awkward little shot up and over that bunker onto that green as we return to Colgate on the 14th fairway. Cut across that, sliding it from left to right and sliding it nicely in on the pin. Good shot.
It's a good shot indeed. Now, we heard John mention a gentleman called Laddie Lucas earlier in our round, and as Nicol plays this third shot into the 9th, we talked about his influence, and it really does extend beyond developing the European Tour as well.
But yes, the tremendous influence he had. Oh, a great shot there. He had tremendous influence. If he was still alive, he'd be 100. He was born in 1915 in September, was an MP, Conservative MP, and he wrote a book, a very interesting book, on the influence that John Jacobs, probably the father of all coaching, golf coaching, had on golf. So Laddie Lucas's influence touched many aspects of life.
Colgate certainly influencing this final round. That gets him to just one shot off the lead. Fabulous birdie. Now let's get back to John, see what's happening at the 11th hole.
Well, as you can see, you can get a good butchers at this course planner here at the 11th hole. It's only 417 yards, and it just shows you bunker in the distance is a perfect spot to aim at. Got the hazard on the left, right of centre, definitely key. Takes all the trouble out of the way on the left-hand side, but there's thick bund on the right, and you do not want to go in there. Now, 3-wood, nice and easy, and just plonk it in position A if you can. Didn't quite hit my 3-wood very good, but I tell you what, it's ended up actually okay. I'm just down here on the left side of this fairway in prime position, and you've got all this acreage of fairway here on the right-hand side, which is like your perfect bailout zone. Now, I've got a 9-iron out. I've only got 140 to go in, but I'm going to hopefully take my chances. 9-iron in hand. Slightly turn a little bit. Might catch the slope if I'm not too careful. Hold up, ball. I need that to have had a little bit of chubby checker to be safe on this green. Good hole, this 11th.
Yes, indeed, and that certainly suits John's shape. Don't know if you saw last week, Gary, we actually got John to fade a ball.
Yeah, he can actually do it very well. He likes the right to left, but people don't always realise what a good player John E. Morgan is.
Oh, he's a fabulous player, and he's given us some really good entertainment during the course of this season as well with his course guides. Now, McCullum in reasonable position, this man in pole position. Fraser leading this tournament.
Up over the slope, not easy to judge the pace on such long range, but it looks like he's done a good job on the pace, if a little wide on the line.
So our leader by a single shot has that for birdie. Now, right, got to be careful here. Oh. Working that quite beautifully. That is a superb flop.
That really was a very good shot. Takes a lot of practice just to let the club slide under the ball. Okay, not to take anything away, modern wedges make it slightly easy to play that, but that is real skill.
Now, McCullum able to give it a bit of tap coming back up the slope, but not quite enough. So a little bit of work to be done.
So, Fraser for his birdie. Good length, 4 feet to the side of the hole.
Oh, superb. He's doing some real damage out there. That's 13 under for the Welshman.
That is, that's just tremendous. Very calm as well as he was on that green. Good.
Yeah, it's one of the swings we've talked about during the course of this year, and it's certainly holding up. Nicol, that's a nice save. But unfortunately for the Scotsman, at the midway point, it started to become a little bit more about preserving rather than improving his score, so he's going to have to watch that. Now McCullum for a handy par. And a handy par it is. Now, here at Prince's, it really is a game of two halves. Here's John Morgan to explain.
A
Well, the nice thing to be back at Prince's is that they got 3 9s on offer for the players. Now, we did play the Dunes last year. No, they dropped it. We're going for Shore and Himalayas. Here at the back of the 9th hole, which is on the Shore. It's a tough old brute, this finishing hole here on this 9 holes. Now the boys, you know, in contrast to last year when they were playing the Dunes, got more variety to play with on this 9 holes. But then they come to the Himalayas. Now what a brute that is. Totally chalk and cheese compared to the front 9 here. Himalayas has something else to offer, which is can't get the big dog out all the time. Strategic play, must know your yardage, must put it in position A off the tee to attack the second shot into the greens, stuff like that. I mean, the windy conditions, hopefully the breeze does get up, because as you can see right now, if I look bear down, there isn't much wind out there. But if the wind does get up, you're going to see the Himalayas probably take a few boys apart, and unfortunately, might make them cry a little bit.
Nice one. I think the only tears for this man, Graham Clark, though, will be tears of joy. Had a pretty abject season up until a few weeks ago, but now it's like the Graham Clark of old, striking the ball beautifully, putting aggressively, and Clark once again featuring at the top of the leaderboard.
Yes, it's nice to see that, because he's a very good player and should be at the top of the leaderboard week in, week out. So our leader, Fraser, leading by 2.
The man from Pennard Golf Club, tied 13 at Celtic Manor to kick things off earlier in the season, but had that second place at Frilford Heath as well, and that's why we thought he was due a win. I wonder if today is going to be the day.
This is just a little bit awkward. There's a little bit of grass behind, up over the bank. I have to say, very nicely played. Although it's come up a bit short, he'll be a bit disappointed, but he could have made a much less good effort at that. So, pretty good.
Now, Wright was up there at the top of the leaderboard at one point during the front 9, but has found himself 3 shots off the pace being set at the moment by Fraser. Yeah, that's fabulous. Past the hole, spin back. Brilliant control.
Yeah, that is good. Now, Colgate, his 3rd shot. Up over the slope, long putt. Down the other side. And very tidy.
Yes, that was for Eagle, but birdie looks on the cards now for Colgate. And that would be a big boost.
Clark following his chip. Not much break on this, keep it just inside the left edge of the hole. And didn't quite get the line right.
He never holds back on his putting, does Graham. But unfortunately for him, that one just getting away. Now Wright. And that's nicely done. Beautiful approach. That's where the reward was really earned.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Texas wedge by the young man through 2 or 3 levels of grass up over the hill. And as you can see, it was a very good effort, as his playing partner said to him.
Yeah, and that's what you see on a links course, that little bit of invention. And it's good to see that the young players do have that in their armoury.
I think that's what makes links golf. I'm disappointed that the European Tour doesn't play more links golf.
Oh, goodness me. Well, Fraser is draining them for fun. And that one had a serious break on it as well. And look at the reaction. The Welshman is in the zone.
He is, yeah. You always know when the old fist pump comes out that we're enjoying it.
Well, that is amazing stuff. Leader by 2 shots, Fraser. Back to Colgate. And I tell you what, things are getting better and better out there. Birdie for Colgate then moves him to 12 under. And for McCullen, a chance to move to 11 under.
I think this was where taking on, as he obviously did off the tee, taking on the green, You know, although it was on the side, he's managed to get up and down with his putter for a birdie. Very good. And a little of the wildlife as we see leaderboard with Fraser at the top there, 13 under.
Yeah, he's the man in charge. Now then, Clark, 9 under. Feel sure that there's still something for him in this round. But I wonder what the final total is going to be today. Fraser has shown that you can really kick on.
I've enjoyed watching the players play this links course, flighting the ball in like that one there from Clark. Just keeping the ball down a bit more, letting it release. Very good. Now, Darren Wright. Nicely done. Applause from the crowd. Moves on.
Yeah, back in business. 11 to 12 under. Oh, nearly a smile. He was thinking about it. He was thinking about it. Now, I haven't seen Halley for a little while. Putter went cold for the man from the north. And he's going to need it to warm up again. Nicely judged. Look at this, coming back. And that's how to use the contours. And that's what a couple of days' knowledge on the course does for you.
Yeah, you soon get used to it. And I say, they've had it kind, benign conditions, so they've learnt from it. 17th, our leader from below the green here. And you could see there a lot of grass that came up with that. Ball's gone left. It tangled round the hosel of the club. Whenever that happens, it closes the club face long and left.
Yeah, Fraser's going to have to work if he wants to maintain a really good clubhouse score when he gets in. Halley, well, I talked about his putter getting hot again, and it has. Fabulous birdie then. Halley goes to 10 under. Another man that is still very much in contention. Now, having blitzed it up to this point, Fraser doesn't want to start handing shots back. No, but that's exactly what he's done, I'm afraid. Was able to be quite confident with that putt, but just didn't quite have the line. He goes back to 12 under, and he's going to have to work very hard to get into the clubhouse and have a lead that he can, well, relax on almost.
Clark, 4 feet for his birdie.
He loves the chat, does Graham? Just analysing that one. Now, the pre-shot routine for Colgate's getting a little bit fidgety.
It is a couple of extra waggles on that one. He's settled in behind it nicely and given it a good hit, but
trouble for our joint leader. He won't enjoy that.
Yeah, that's swell. At least he's got a bit of green to work with, but awkward. So the 18th, Fraser, joint leader, his second shot. Hoping to put this very close, get the deal sealed. Good length.
So Fraser with a bit of work to do still, but he's not going to be able to sit back and relax. He's going to have to watch very closely as the rest come in. Colgate then sharing the lead with Fraser, and that one just a little bit heavy-handed, I'm afraid. And then this to get back to 13 under in the clubhouse. Well, not the icing on the cake, I'm afraid, but it's a fabulous round nonetheless.
It was a wonderful round. It would have been lovely to have finished with a birdie, but as you say, Simon, very, very good. Colgate now.
A little wobble from our joint leaders, but that's been the story of the day. No one's able to take this tournament by the scruff of the neck. Only Fraser really threatened. But the course has given and taken away. Fraser then to stay on 12 under and head into the clubhouse for a well-earned cup of tea. Well done, young man. And that's a scorecard to enjoy.
Yeah, that's a very good scorecard. He'll be disappointed to have dropped a shot on the 17th, but overall he must be very pleased with that. That's a great score.
Yes, indeed. 64 in the final round for James Fraser. That means 12 under in the clubhouse, and he is the clubhouse leader. Only Darren Wright matching him out on the course at the moment. We are heading for a very tight finish to this tournament. Right, time to hear from the leader. Here's James Fraser.
It was tough. Probably tougher than I made it look, actually. No, it's still quite scoreable, I think. Looking at the leaderboard there, I don't think 12 under will be enough, but yeah, I mean, there's plenty of chances out there, obviously with the greens being nice and smooth, and you could hold them even downwind. Yeah, it's not playing that tough. But.
So Fraser's in the clubhouse with the lead, right out on course, equalling him at 12 under, but lots of players in contention and plenty to play for here at Prince's. Welcome back to Prince's and this HotelPlanner.com Championship, the penultimate event of this EuroPro Tour season. Simon Golding and Gary Alice with you for what should be some cracking final round action. This is how things stand at the moment. The Welshman James Fraser in the clubhouse at 12 under, but plenty of players will still fancy their chances today. And notable that Fraser said he doesn't think 12 under is enough. Now, I think that's respect for his opponents that are still out there, but also that's got a lot to do with the condition, Gary.
Yeah, it's been benign. I mean, I'm really enjoying this, even if the conditions are a bit benign, because the golf is excellent. These guys are playing very well.
Yeah, still got to find your way around, still got to earn yourself those chances. But we've seen a lot of eagle and birdie putt opportunities, and quite a few of them dropping. Now, this is well worked. Very well worked from Colgate.
Yeah, deft touch there. That was very good from the big man.
Bit of a swagger there from Jack onto the green. Now, Halley, along with Fraser, this man's had the hot putter today. Not quite on this occasion. And we must say, quick apology to Mr. Halley. We've been calling him Hawley for part of the season, but he caught up with our producer, Mark Fulton, and said, get the boys to say my name properly. He said it in a northern accent, of course.
I know. It's a bit like my name, you know, with Alice, Alice, Arliss, Orliss.
I'll stick with Gary. Now, Jack, nicely done. And that is a very good round, a 66 for 11 under. But that little bit of resignation from Jack Colgate, good enough to book himself a place in Desert Springs at the Tour Championships, but not good enough to compete for the final result today. Now, back to Chris Nicol. He did have the lead, but he's dropped away. And I think maybe some of those little demons that Kit Alexander alluded to, possibly coming home to roost.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how he minds his game. Now, let's pop across to John on the 16th.
Now, this is a brute 16. It really is. Because the green, when you look at it, doesn't look like you've got anywhere to land it on. There's a massive bank on the left-hand side which just feeds away from you. And if you miss it right, well, you're going to see in a minute. We're going to have to go up there. I've got 6 iron in my hand. I'm going to have to lean on it, mine. Get in. Get in. Just shy, and that just shows you how difficult this par 3 can be. Fractions out, that's all it takes. Now you could chip it, chip and run it, lob it, but I think get the putter out, keep it on the putting, you know, this surface, because these fringes are immaculate. You can putt it. Now just coming up the hill, kind of old school putter, just like old Gene Saracen would have used when he won here. Straight up there, catch the slope. You know, bit of work to be done, but the dew on the green would have stopped that. Show you the other side of this green is unbelievable. Look, the ball's going to take this slope and it's just going to keep going. Goes up, over and down again on another slope. When you talk about Himalayas, this is the Himalayas. Up and down like you wouldn't believe, mountainous. And the boys got to deal with it.
John Morgan back at base camp. Mentioned Gene Saracen, the 1932 winner of the Open here at Prince's, and during that week actually unveiled a new sand wedge, didn't he?
Yeah, Saracen was really the inventor, if you like, of the sand wedge, playing about with the old niblick and sticking bits of lead on the bottom to create the beginnings of the club that we know today.
Now Halley trying to negotiate his way onto this green, and that is a sweet shot. I think Johnny Morgan would like to buy that one off him.
Fabulous shot. 15th, our joint leader, Darren Wright, his second shot from some heavyish grass and the ball below his feet, but he seems to have got pretty good contact.
Yeah, she had that reassuring click. But again, in the hands of the course here. And it's guided the ball away from the hole.
So, Halley to tie the lead after that great tee shot. 3 feet, just inside the right lip. Very nicely done.
Yes, we've got a 3-way tie for the lead. Another man enters the fray. Well, I spoke about playoff a long time ago, but it is starting to look very, very likely now. Can anyone else join them? Well, brilliantly judged from Nicol. That eagle putt will give him an opportunity at birdie now.
So the 18th, McCullen, just one behind. Lovely sound on that, really struck it nicely. You could hear the click off the club.
He's played some lovely golf this week as Hayden. 68 and 66 on the first 2 days, and he's heading for another fabulous score here today. And not out of contention yet either.
Yeah, that was a good shot, and that's the shot that if it's a bit drier and harder becomes so difficult on seaside golf. Again, we see the conditions just making it a little bit easier.
Birdie chance for McCullen to go to 12 under and make it a 4-way tie for the lead. Goodness me, well, it's been a while since we've seen a leaderboard this congested, and McCullen, with a fabulous 67, has earned his place there. Blemish-free card.
It's lovely to see, and, you know, nice for the young chap.
Yes, indeed. Into the clubhouse and have a little look, see what else is going to happen out there. Nicol rolls that in then. So he goes back to double figures under the card.
Nice to see our interested spectators watching Darren Wright attempt to make a birdie. And birdie he makes.
Fists being pumped left, right and centre at the moment. Darren Wright once again claims the lead at 13 under, a single shot up on James Fraser, Hayden McCullen and Chris Halley. Things are getting very interesting here at Prince's, but at the moment it's Wright that has control. Now let's get to John at the 18th to see what's cooking there.
Well, the boys have got to contend with a great final hole here. It's just over 435 yards, and perfect scenario, find that fairway, leaves yourself a lovely angle in. I'm here and it's 145 yards to this pin. Now anything short, there's a couple of extra bunkers just to gather your ball. Now 8-iron, I can probably go into this and hit it a bit punchy, and I still think I'll clear this lip. So I'm gonna aim dead straight at it, dead aim. Now this could be for it, you know, up and down to win the final one in England here at Prince's. Come on. Go on, get on there. Well, 2 putts might make you win it. That's one bunker, but I'm about to show you a legendary bunker. When we talk about legends, look at that. 1932. Now that man there, Gene Saracen, I remember when I started watching the Masters when I was about getting inspired in golf, and on the first tee they had the opening, you know, the kind of grand finale where the old legends would hit off, and you had Sam Snead and Gene Saracen, and he won a major here, the British Open Championship. And Gene Saracen done it out of this bunker, hole in his shot on final day. I'm going to make it a little bit harder. I'm going to bring it over for myself here. So I've got the bank to contend with my feet. And I tell you what, probably not in, but a chance for an up and down and win 10 spondoolies.
Thanks, John. That bunker actually unveiled in 2011 by Porrig Harrington, the Saracen bunker, which brings us to Grandad Percy again in the Ryder Cup, Gary.
Yeah, my granddad played against Gene Sarazen. You were talking about him inventing the sandwich. Well, there was no limit on the clubs that people could use in those days, and when the two played, Sarazen had 28 clubs, and my granddad had about 9 clubs in a little pencil bag. I have to say, Grandad did just come out on top. The 9 beat 28.
There you go. It's all about the history this week at Prince's. Now, who's going to make history at the end of this tournament? Right, looking a bit worried here, our leader, and was asking it to bounce. It didn't. It checked up on him, and he's got work to do. Oh dear. Oh dear. Not a happy man. Now, Halley could be smiling after this putt, Gary.
Yeah, he could be, and he's holed some good ones today, so go on. Chris, can you make another one?
Not quite to be, but if he knocks that one in, then he will be joint clubhouse leader. And it's only really this man that can spoil the party then. Darren Wright on 13 under, but he's got some work to do, Gary.
Yeah, this is tricky to flip up over the bank, but he's chipped extremely well today, and there's another one. That was difficult. Well done, well done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole range of chips from Wright today. Harley then rolls it in. It's been a very good round of golf, a combative back 9 to keep himself in touch. 67 the score, 12 under on the card, and he joins James Fraser in the clubhouse to watch the rest come in. So McCullen, Fraser and Halley all sitting down watching this man at the moment.
Right, inside left lip, firm.
Oh no.
And just, you know, he gave it the firmness, but he had to keep that inside the hole at that sort of pace.
Well, he beat himself up on the tee, Gary, after the tee shot, recovered with an exquisite chip and loses it again with a putt from the sort of range we'd all expect a putt from. Very different under competition circumstances, though. Well done, Halley, says Graham Clark. Great round from Chris to move himself into now a 4-way tie for the lead. 3 of them in the clubhouse. Darren Wright still out there. Could change things, but this is looking mighty like a playoff this week here in Prince's.
And here he is. Darren Wright, tee shot on 18.
Good shot.
That looked tight to me. That looked really tight.
It did, and I think the sort of rather wry grunt smile, call it what you will, he obviously didn't catch that off the middle of the club, but it's in the middle of the short grass, so no damage done.
Yeah, a bit of shovage there. Well, I said they'll be sat down watching this man. They're not. All the boys in contention are out and around the back of this 18th green to see if Wright can bring home this championship. And to do it, he needs a birdie. He's given that some loudly. Well, it's not over yet, and Darren Wright knows it. Look at that, what a finish to this season.
It is, you know, it's just so exciting. It's been great fun. Fantastic tournament to round off the regular season.
This then for the championship for Darren Wright. Oh, he gave it a chance. He gave it a chance, but it's fractions wide. And he'll roll that one in to be part of a 4-man playoff to decide this title. He had the tournament in the palm of his hand, but unfortunately just couldn't bring it home. A 69 then for Wright, 12 under, and alongside Fraser, McCullen and Halley, he is in the clubhouse as joint leader. And this is how close it was.
Yeah, it really was. Fractions of an inch, and you can see the anguish on his face.
Anguish indeed, but tinged with a smile because he's not out of it yet. James Fraser, Hayden McCullen, Chris Halley and Darren Wright all finishing this tournament at 12 under. Jack Colgate and Graham Clark so close, but not quite today, fellas. But for a lot of names on that leaderboard, it's been a very successful time here in Princes, looking to make top 60 and Desert Springs, and they have done exactly that. But here at Princes, it is not done and dusted just yet. We've got more excitement to come after the break because we're heading into a four-way playoff for the title. McCullen, Fraser, Wright and Halley tee it up and shoot it out after the break.
Welcome back to the HotelPlanner.com Championship here at Princes in Kent. We are heading into a playoff between Fraser, McCullen, Halley and Wright. So we'll hand you back over to your commentary team, Gary, Alice, but first Simon Golding.
Thanks, Laura. The dreaded penalty shootout, and George Whale, the tournament director, looking after the toss up there on the tee as we head down the 9th. And playoff hole 1. Darren Wright had this tournament for the taking, but couldn't quite manage it, but he's not out of it yet, looking for his second win of the season.
Not like that, boys.
Oh, fighting talk.
That is some fighting talk.
I love it. A little bit of aggression there, maybe just a little bit concerned about what has happened up until that point, but good tee shot. Now Fraser with his tee shot, and I'm not a doctor, but a medical fact here for you. It would look like, Gary, having your appendix out helps you win golf tournaments.
Well, I think that's right, because last week's winner, Mark Lasky, had his appendix out earlier on. So, you know, Welsh appendectomies, I think. I wonder if they've compared scars.
Easy for you to say, yes. Both Fraser and Lasky having their appendix out this season. But doesn't look to have done them any harm. And look at this man. Missed cuts all the way through until Marhall, then managed a tied 17th with Craig Farrelly, Hayden McCullen. And he's been kind of ticking along from there, but this week at Princes he's turned it on, and that's a pretty decent position to be in. And finally, our fourth member of this playoff, Chris Halley, putted like a dream today. Will he have a chance to putt for the title?
Yeah,
well, there's the first bit of the equation, the driving for show part, and all four men will be pleased enough.
They certainly will. All finding the fairway. Very good.
Yes, this 9th hole, the playoff hole. Always got that opportunity to go round and round a few times, especially with this many men. But this is the drive to kick things off. Fabulous stuff from Wright.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting follow-through that he has, because he tucks the left arm in close to his body. Again, just to counter not getting too active with the hands and getting a hook. So, here we are on this playoff hole. As we saw it before, the big ridges in the fairway that can really bounce the ball around, difficult to find the fairway. But again, once you're on the fairway, as they all are, it's then getting the right club into this green to give yourself an opportunity of a birdie and getting your hands on that trophy.
Yes, the shootout element to come then on playoff hole 1. And let's see who can get in there and cause the pressure. Or punching it in. Hayden McCullen with a very confident strike, and that is very well done.
Yeah, that was good. Got the club nicely on the ball. Real good click off the club there, like that.
Another decent position here for Halley. Yes, could afford to be a little bit more bold there. Knows he's going to get control of the short stuff. And needed a bit of check there. Didn't quite happen for him. Two different shots, two similar results.
Yeah, very similar. Again, you can see the undulations though. Feet at a slightly different level to the club. Solid hit, but no, he doesn't like it. I wonder if it's gone a bit right. Has he left it at the club face of Wishketscore Open? Indeed he has, and that's some long, horrid, tangly grass there with not much green to work with. That's going to be very awkward.
I tell you what though, he's picked the right place to hit it into a group of members, and they found it straight away. Now Wright, well, you'd have to say pole position here. Can he make it count? And he doesn't like it either. Drops the club immediately. And that one too, leaking even further out to the right. And I'm amazed by that.
Yeah, it is very surprising. It just shows what the pressure can do. I mean, everybody hit the ball well. He should have been in pole position, had the best lie, and the worst result. Oof, God, look at that. That is some stinky stuff.
Oh, John Morgan talked about making your eyes water, and this one will. But this part of his game today has been fabulous, and you'd have to say, on balance, that's probably the best he could hope for from there.
Yeah, you can see how quickly he had to break his wrist, just lift the club straight up, stab down in behind the ball, and hope almost the stunning of the grass is enough to pop the ball out, which it was.
Yeah, how much of a risk does Fraser take?
Much better lie, had more options and played a good shot. Soft hands, got it on the edge of the green as we could see, and a chance for his par.
A few murmurs there from the members just behind him. Good shot, but it's right under pressure on playoff hole 1. And his putt for par, I'm afraid, just coming up short, and that might be Wright's day done, I'm afraid. Oh, let's not detract from what has been a fabulous season so far, and you'd still be looking at him as one of the favourites going to Desert Springs, but I think that's him done here at Princess.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have to rely on everybody else taking 3 putts or missing that other par putt. So I'm afraid his day probably is done.
Match play then, McCullum to put pressure on. No, not quite happening there, so that'll be a tap in for McCullum. And he'll just have to keep his fingers crossed with Halley in such good form with his putter. So par for Hayden.
George well there, keeping his eye on proceedings, making a note of all the scoring, as the referee has to.
Well, that was for the tournament, and I'm afraid, on balance today, that was one of his less impressive putts, and Halley knows it. That didn't have a chance.
Now, a bit disappointed with that, because he was nearly on the same line as well as McCullum. So can Fraser knock this in and stay in this playoff?
Oh, yes, indeed. Knocks it in, stays in, and we could still have back-to-back Welsh victories here to finish off our EuroPro season. The fist is out again.
The fist out, but as he turned away, did you see the puff of his cheeks?
Aggressive relief, I think they call that. And Halley rolls it in. We're going to go back down to the 9th tee, but this time with only 3 men, because for Darren Wright, it's a case of well played, gents, but I'm off. But let's not detract from what has been a fabulous season for Darren Wright. Watch out for him at Desert Springs. He will go there as the leader on the Order of Merit.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Obviously, that's everyone's goal at the start of the year. I'm not sure how the maths works out or how Marcus has done today, but hopefully that's put me into #1 spot going into the final event of the year. So that's one of my goals at the start of the week was to do that. So yeah, even though it's not worked out this afternoon, it's been a good week.
And round we go again. Playoff hole 2, still at the 9th, and we still stay in the same order. So minus Wright, it's going to be Fraser, another man with a quite fabulous swing. We drool over that swing every week.
Yeah, that is a good swing, although out goes his arm, and it's a bit down the left-hand side, but spotted, and okay.
McCullum, the teenager, 19 years of age, and from Delamere Forest Golf Club, so the members there will be watching this one with bated breath. And that is a confident strike. Something tells me that as far as he's concerned, job done this week. Whatever happens from here happens.
Yeah, Liv enjoyed his week. One of the players to play without a left-handed glove, which is they're certainly in a big minority.
Yeah, you've seen Aaron Rye with 2 gloves this season. Now the other end of the spectrum now. Chris Halley, oh, he was looking after that one, desperate for approval. And do you know what? He's got away with it.
He has. The old right shoulder was up very early there and let it go to the right, but he's got away with it. See there as he swung back, just left his weight a little bit on the left side at the top there and was a bit late bringing the club head in. Say right shoulder up a bit high and club face left fractionally open. Bit of a cut on it, but no real damage.
Now, can somebody get close this time around? There were no really nailed-on chances with the approaches first time, and again it's finished up about that sort of range. It's going to take a big putt to hold from there.
You can see why Fraser was a bit worried about left. That water hazard's only about 6 feet behind him, and now the club's been let go, and oh my goodness me, everything's happening. Sandy.
Yes, that is not good. And bunkers on a links course can be penal, we know that. Oh, club nearly went in the water hazard there. So McCullum, once again, finds himself in a very good position here. Now, he's hanging on to the club still, so that's partly a good sign. Oh, he would have been a little concerned, and he's a bit unfortunate that that one doesn't dribble back a touch. That's going to be a tough putt.
Yeah, a bit quick down there, but a good shot in the air. Watching that, must have gone right over the stick.
Well, let's take a look at Hayden McCullum's profile. As I said, 19 years of age from Delamere Forest, the man that won the 2014 McAvoy Trophy, and starting to enjoy his first season in the professional ranks. Loves his video gaming, Man United fan. We won't hold that against him.
Now this is difficult. Back of the bunker, just far enough away for the swing. Flat line, he's got a great contact. That is. And the only thing there is, I mean, it was a great shot, but just out of the back of the bunker there, he's always going to hit down and get a little more release on the shot from that type of lie.
Super effort. Now, for the second time, Halley with the chance. Still got McCullum to putt, remember. And for the second time, it glides by without really threatening the hole, but it's still a good putt from there. And McCullum's putt is not going to be easy either, he knows that. So Halley still in with a chance here.
Yes, off these very smooth fringes, which won't really be a hazard, but it's a big swinger, and down the hill. May not look all that good because it was a bit wide, but he'll be quite pleased with that, Simon.
Yes, like any number of things could have happened there, and he's covered pretty much all of them. But this is now looking like we'll be heading back to the tee, but with how many? Fraser, after a horrible hole, finds a very nice putt, and for the second time, he might have saved himself there.
Yeah, huge relief on that, because it wasn't a great hole up to that moment.
The old punch and puff from Fraser. He's still in the game. What a fabulous finish to this regulation part of the EuroPro Tour season. Now McCullum, this isn't straightforward, but he made it look so. Real maturity there from the youngster. Well holed. There's two going back to the tee. Can Halley ensure it's three?
Indeed he can. So we don't lose anybody this time, and back they go for another go.
Well, Fraser will be hoping that he plays it better this time around, but for McCullum and Halley, if they just find a putt, this could be their title. More to come from the playoff. Welcome back to Prince's and the conclusion to the HotelPlanner.com Championship. And my goodness me, playoff drama just seems to go on and on. And after going through two playoff holes and losing just one man, Darren Wright, we went to a third. And Hayden McCullum had a putt to win. But for the third time of asking, it drifted wide. And McCullum, once again, having to settle for a par, but it was halved in pars, so they all went back to the tee for a fourth go round. The members loving it. Chris Halley, though, not quite enjoying the fourth time down the ninth. Had to make a brilliant save from the same bunker that Fraser was in. So had that for par, but he was angry because he knew that Hayden McCullen had a 4th putt for the title. And for the 4th time, it slid by, getting closer and closer, but still no win. And that meant pressure on this par to stay in. And my goodness me, what a great up and down from Chris Halley. So he, along with Hayden McCullen and James Fraser, all heading back to the 9th tee to go round a 5th time. How many more times? We're going to run out of light at this rate.
Yeah, we'll be dizzy with going round. Now, the Welshman. And again, lovely balance swing, but still looking a bit disgruntled. Out comes the arm. We've missed it down the right-hand side yet again. Oh dear, that does look pretty wide, Simon, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's gone at the moment. Fraser's going to need a bit of luck there. McCullen. Another confident, tight, solid swing. And just as he did in regulation, he's nailed the middle of this fairway just about every time.
Yeah, it's good. That's really good nerve. I'm very impressed.
Now, Halley has been a little bit shaky from the tee in this playoff. Oh, and he's gone for it again. No holding back whatsoever from Chris.
He certainly hit it hard. I think the old rhythm's getting a bit quicker with each time we go up and down, but ooh, this is not a good sign. You've got a couple of refs there looking for the ball, and it all looks great from here. You know, setup's lovely, top of the backswing, doesn't look like there's anything wrong there. Down we come, and again, you know, you'd never know really on that. Didn't look like anything wrong, but obviously the club face left out to the right, and away goes the golf ball.
The 28-year-old swimming and cycling Welshman, after a very good amateur career, turned pro back in 2013 and has enjoyed his time in the pro ranks ever since. But he's in a bit of trouble here at Prince's, and as Joe Cocker would have sung back in the day, you get by with a little help from your friends, and fortunately they found his ball.
Yeah, that's, you need a bit of help when the grass is a foot tall there, but I think he's going to need a lot of luck to be able to get this ball close.
Oh, dear me. Well, he'll be lucky to get that a little further up the fairway. That one stung just a little bit. You can see still loads of grass around the club, and I'm not sure where this has ended up, but it can't be good. Well, out it comes, along with a lot of hay. And I'm afraid this hasn't gone very far at all. In fact, only just further than the club. At least it was in the right direction. Scant consolation, I'm afraid, though, for Fraser.
Yeah, it's from that sort of lie, though, even advancing it 30 yards was probably a pretty good effort. So, Ali, we're in the middle of the fairway.
Yes, and basically here McCullen looking to condemn Fraser to an exit in round 5 of this playoff, and a beautiful shot in from Halley. McCullen to respond.
I'm very impressed with how he's managing this, and it's another good contact. You know, all in all, he's winning on points for hitting fairways and greens.
Last chance saloon then for the Welshman. Fraser in all sorts of bother. No. Well, much better in terms of his contact. At least he's got that out and away. But a rather disconsolate look at the ball finishing way, way off the green. Well, there we go. If you miss the target on a links course, you're going to be penalised.
Yeah, and you know, you can only really put that down to the pressure, I guess. You know, he did well advancing it that far because the lie wasn't much better than the first time that he was in there. So it's got to go in to have any chance, and a very good effort, but I'm afraid that is his race run.
Yeah, sails by and Fraser sails out of the playoff. Both he and Wright will be kicking themselves golden opportunities. But we're going to have a new name on a EuroPro trophy. It's going to be either McCullen or Halley, and McCullen looking to put the pressure on.
Well, he's had a few goes at getting the line right, and we're still trying because we still haven't quite got it for him.
Safe enough, but it's not what he wanted. And that will mean a second putt for the title for Chris Halley.
Yeah, certainly it favours him. He's not far away. 6.5 feet. right lip. No, it was a really...
From the off, wasn't it? I mean, there was nothing right about that putt, and I think that's pressure.
It was a little bit of a hit it and oh, please go in.
Oh, it's a tough situation, but this is what this tour is all about, experiencing these moments and learning to play through them. So Halley and McCullen head back to the 9th tee to go round a 6th time, and for James Fraser, I'm afraid it's an exit from the playoff, but what a fabulous day he's had to even get here in the first place. Mixed blessings, I think, for the Welshman in the end.
A bit disappointed, but good week in all, at the end of the day. It's only my second tournament back, as I said, after being off. And, I certainly would have taken second. Obviously disappointed to be knocked out, but just one of those things.
You made some terrific up and downs, especially on the first couple of holes. Did you feel like the gods were maybe on your side at that point?
No, because the other two were just hitting the greens, and they certainly weren't putting themselves in any uncomfortable pressure. Chris made a great up and down on the fourth. No, I mean, you can't count your chickens, in you.
Well, clearly James Fraser upset, but on the drive back home, I'm sure he will reflect on what has been a very good tournament for him, and we'll see him at Desert Springs. Now then, Hayden McCullen has driven quite beautifully during the course of this playoff. Is this the first one that's a little suspect? Well, he's chopped that just a little bit.
Yeah, not quite as good a contact, a little bit chopped up in the air, a bit short, as you say, Simon, but on the short grass, and that's really what counts, and he's got his blow in first.
Talking of blows, Chris Halley has been smiting this golf ball in the playoff, and look at that, that's cosy. They can have a nice little chat on the way down to their second shots, or not.
Yeah, I think what you see there, they are still... I mean, that's one of the joys of golf, is that they can talk. So, yeah, lovely setup for McCullen. Lovely to the top of the backswing. But interesting, has quite a lot of lateral movement with his hips, which then goes into a rotational movement. So that's the swing of a young man. You need a young, flexible body to be able to control all of that. But it's working.
Now, can he make this work? He's sticking with that little retracted swing, that little punch into the green, and then just hoping it'll stop, and well, maybe just a bit of adrenaline involved in that shot. Certainly the first time that he's approached from that far back from the green.
Yes, but another lovely shot. And again, a little bit ungainly from Halley, but on its way and pin high.
Yeah, certainly got another one of those putts to look forward to from Halley. And looking on as McCullen just drills that ball in. Shot for a windy day, really, from McCullen, but it's working out nicely for him on the 9th. Now then, Halley. And that too drifts away. He'll be frustrated because nothing has pressured the hole.
No, he hasn't really threatened at all, and after so many goes, one would hope so. Helicopter circling. Even they're interested, Simon.
Everybody's watching this playoff, I could tell you. Now McCullen has got to try and banish that helicopter noise from his mind. He's had a similar break on a putt before, and just shaves by. Oh, my goodness me. Well, we have been so close to getting a winner, but still, this is going to take some deciding. So, rolled in by Hayden McCullen. And a little look back at the hole. Well, it's great to see him smiling his way through this.
Yeah, it's lovely to see the smile, and it was a really good putt. He'll have thought that had a chance. Now, this just needs a little bit of care and attention, though, to keep this playoff going.
Halley then to stay in it. Oh, no. Oh, would you believe it? Well, there's been a lot of graft down the 9th in this playoff, and that's not the way I think we wanted it to end. But from McCullen's point of view, he won't mind how it finishes because it is his first professional title. Well done, says Chris Halley. Yeah, it's a fantastic win for Hayden McCullen. He is the HotelPlanner.com championship winner here at Prince's. And time now to hear from the last two men standing.
I don't suppose I can say how I really feel, but tired. Looking forward to a long drive home, but well done to Hayden. He played well and got the job done in the end.
Hayden, you've just won the HotelPlanner.com championship with a par on the 6th extra hole. How are you feeling?
Tired after playing that many playoff holes, walking up and down this 450 hole. Yeah, tired, yeah.
It was an absolute marathon.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over, yeah.
Did you think it was just going to keep going all night?
Yeah, I thought because obviously it's a really tough hole to make birdie on, and it's just one of them holes where there's not much trouble off the tee, and obviously you hit the green and then it's just down to the putting. But yeah, I thought it could have gone on forever, that one.
I played well, can't complain. It's probably the best week I've had, so positives from that, but not seeing many of it at the moment.
How does it feel to get your first ever professional victory?
Yeah, it's really good. Just try not to think about it and just enjoy it. Obviously, happy about it as well.
So after 15 stunning events, this is how the race to Desert Springs stands. Darren Wright is confirmed as our leader heading into the Tour Champs, with Armitage, Connor, King and Rye with one hand on a Challenge Tour card. At the other end of the table, making top 60 is what it's all about. Kevin Harper is the man occupying 60th place. Squeezing in this week, Confident Elson, but squeezed out Gray and Payne. And for everyone else under the yellow line, it's back to Q School in 2016. And not surprisingly, there's a broad smile on the face of 19-year-old Hayden McCullen as Prince's Director of Golf, Rob McGurk, presents the trophy. What a fabulous win for him.
Well, that concludes our penultimate event on the EuroPro Tour here from Prince's in Kent. And congratulations to our winner, Hayden McCullen, on his first professional victory, and to the top 60 players who will be travelling to Spain later this year for the Desert Springs Tour Championship. We'll see you then.